Today we're going to be making tostadas. Tostadas are basically a crunchy, flat taco shell with toppings on top. You can put really anything you want on tostadas, but today we're going to be using the ingredients that we prepare in this video. We're going to start by making some pickled red onions, and you want to do this probably at least a few hours before you're going to make the tostadas. We did ours about, I would say, 2 hours before we actually planned to eat, but a whole day is actually best for pickling your red onion to get it exactly the way you want it. You're going to want to start by slicing your red onion very, very thinly. You can do chunkier slices if you want, but in order for it to pickle faster, we are going to slice pretty thinly. You can put yours in just a plastic bag, a container. I would suggest glass because I think that the color from the red onions can actually tinge plastic if you're using it, just because of the color deposit that is coming into the vinegar. So we're going to use a mason jar made of glass. I find this is the best way to get pickled red onions. So you're going to place your onions in whatever container that you're using. And the rest of the ingredients are pretty simple. You're going to want to put a little bit of sugar in it. We chose to use coconut sugar. You'll also want to add a little bit of salt, and then you'll want to take some vinegar. We chose apple cider vinegar, but you can really use any kind of white vinegar, apple cider, or whatever you have on hand. And then you're going to want to do a little bit of water, just enough to make sure that the liquid covers the onions. Then you're going to want to take it and give it a good shake to mix all of your ingredients. Next, we're going to be preparing some roasted corn. Normally I would make this on the grill, but we don't have a grill right now, so I chose to make it on the oven. And basically I just preheated the oven to boil to give it that grilled effect. I'm going to spray the outside with a little bit of oil, or you can just brush it on. And then we're going to add some seasonings. I added salt and pepper. And then I also used some paprika and chili powder just to give it a little bit more of Mexican flavors, as well as a little bit of smokiness. I think this is a similar seasoning profile to elote corn without the sauce. Make sure your rack is high near the broiler on the oven, that way it gets that charred look, and stick it in. Keep a close eye on it because the temperature is really hot. Next, we're going to be making some oil-free refried black beans. So I used just a can of black beans, gave them a really good rinse. I personally don't like using the bean juice from the can, so I always give them a really good rinse and then just add water and some of my seasonings. We just use some pre-made taco seasoning to give these some flavor, just to make it quick and easy. Give that a good stir and then let that simmer for a while until some of the liquid starts to thicken up. Very often you want to check on your corn, maybe give it a shake to roll it around, and then when it's done as much as you'd like it, let it cool, and then it's time to slice the kernels off of the sides so that you can use them for your tostadas. And I basically just keep rotating the corn and slicing vertically to get all of the corn off and not waste any. Here's how the corn is looking. It looks absolutely delicious. Since that's done, we are going to check back on our black beans. So at this point, the liquid should have thickened up and your beans should be warm and softened. We are going to stick ours in a container because we essentially need to mash and process them. We are going to use an immersion blender, but you can use any kind of blender or even just a fork to mash them up. So once that's done, you should get a similar texture to refried beans that kind of looks like this. Add some more water if you want it to be a little bit more thinner. Next, we're going to cut up our raw veggies. I was given this tomato by a family member. It looks absolutely delicious. So we're going to cut that up and stick it on top as it's ripe and ready to be eaten. We're also going to top ours with a little bit of fresh diced avocado. After you've prepared all of your ingredients, it's time to top your tostadas. Tostadas can be a great thing that is kid-friendly because you can put your own toppings on there. So lastly, we're going to assemble our tostadas with all of the ingredients that we made today and eat. I hope that you guys enjoyed this cook with me video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what ingredients you like to put on your tostadas, and if you tried this recipe, let me know how it turned out. Thanks for joining us for another cook with me, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe down below and hit that notification bell. That way you get notified every time we post new content. Thanks for watching and enjoy.